Please remember to mute your telephone.
General Ford is waiting to get let into the meeting. Could you let him in, please? General Ford, are you there?
Attorney General Ford, you're on the line.
He texted me, he's waiting to be let into the meeting. Who does that?
We're doing it up here in Carson City. Everyone who is waiting in the lobby has been admitted to the meeting at this point.
Does that include him?
It does. Attorney General Ford, are you on the line?
Okay. Are we showing anything down here that he's not coming in or something, or what?
It's up here in Carson City, and everyone who's waiting has been admitted. If you'd ask him to recall the number, please.
Who's on the cell? You can call him on the cell.
Yeah, I don't think so. Downstairs. Here. He's still getting,
He's got it in what?
he said he's still getting hold music. So I'm gonna.
He's
maybe
still getting
that's-
hold music, if you could.
Can he redial it? I think he's going to, I'm sending him the number.
Rosalie, will you make sure he's using the call-in information on the agenda?
Yes, I just sent him he had the wrong code, I believe.
Thank you.
He's dialing in now.
Hello, it's Aaron Ford.
Gotcha, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. I had the wrong conference ID. Sorry.
Okay, I'd like to call to order today's meeting of the State of Nevada Board of Examiners for Tuesday, June 4th, 2022, Election Day, to order. Could I ask the clerk to take the roll, please?
Yes, good morning. Governor Sisolak,
Here.
Secretary of State Zagaski,
I'm here.
Attorney General Ford.
Here.
Let the record reflect we do have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll close item number 1, move on to item number 2, public comment. This is the first time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on any item on today's agenda, items on the agenda, please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody in Las Vegas? Do we have anybody in Carson?
We do not.
Do we have any electronic or written public comment?
We did not receive any.
Okay. I'll close public comment. Move on to item number 3, approval of the May 10th, 2022 meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval from General Ford. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4, state vehicle purchases.
Good morning. There is one request to purchase a vehicle on this agenda item. This request is from the Department of Public Safety Highway Patrol Division to purchase 2 replacement vehicles for an amount not to exceed $126,377. The vehicles being replaced were totaled in accidents and are being funded with insurance recoveries. And are there any questions?
These are electric vehicles, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Do we have any questions on this item? Do we have a motion?
None here. Move approval.
We have a motion for approval from General Ford. Any discussion? Hearing seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, authorization to contract with the current and/or former state employee.
There are 6 items under this agenda topic for contracts with former employees. There is one agenda item 5E for the Department of Purchasing, which is to contract with an employee with NDOT. And there are questions and revisions on this item that we received late last night. And so the agency is here to add additional information. Would you like me to go through each one individually?
Yeah, that'd be great. Please.
Agenda item 5A is for the Department of Administration Purchasing Division to contract with a former employee to provide technical assistance to registered apprenticeship programs for the department or the business and industries through Master Service Agreement 23928 with HAT Limited Partnership doing business as Manpower. This individual will work part-time through June of 2023. The next agenda.
I've got a question on that one.
Okay.
Is that the purchasing division one?
Yes.
It's got down here that it's till December of 2026.
So
We're
this
talking
is
about Mr.
agenda
Woolridge?
item 5A.
I guess I messed up here.
And that one is approved through June 30th, would be approved through
Woolridge
June
is,
30th,
Woolridge
2022.
is E? Okay. Okay, I'm on E, sorry. Go ahead with A, I'm good. I apologize.
No problem. Continuing on to agenda item 5B is also for the Department of Administration Purchasing Division to contract with a former employee to provide subject matter expert assistance for the requirements gathering for the modernization of the unified tax system for the Department of Taxation through the Master Service Agreement 23928 with HAT Limited doing business as Manpower. This person will work full-time through June of 2023. Agenda item 5C is also for the Department of Administration Purchasing Division to contract with a former employee to provide fiscal support for the Division of Emergency Management through the Master Services Agreement 23297 for Marathon Staffing Group. This individual will work part-time through July of 2024. The next one is Agenda Item 5D for the Department of Administration Purchasing Division to contract with a former employee to perform training on body-worn cameras and equipment through Axion Enterprises. And then, Governor, if you're okay with this, I'll move on to Agenda Item 5F. And then if we could, you'd like to take a vote on those matters, and then we could bring up the agency for 5E.
Okay, so you want to take them all together except for 5E?
Yes.
Okay.
The next agenda item under 5F is from the Department of Transportation to contract with a former employee to provide contract administration services on the I-80 Button Point Highway project through HDR Engineering. This contract will go through June of 2023. And are there any questions on those agenda items?
Now, do I have a motion on A, B, C, D, and F?
So moved for approval.
We have a motion for approval from General Ford on items number 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, and 5F. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay.
Thank you. The next agenda item to cover is 5E, and it's for the Department of Administration Purchasing Division to contract with their former employee to provide project manager duties for the multi-application Geographic Information Center project for the Department of Transportation through Master Service Agreement 21167 with GuideSoft Incorporated, doing business as Knowledge Services. The agency has some revisions to make to this, and they are on the phone. So if we could have them come forward.
Good morning, Governor, members of the board. This is Cole Mortensen, Deputy Director for the Nevada Department of Transportation. I think one of the largest revisions that we had, I understand there were questions, but one of the largest revisions we had is that we reduced the agreement length from 4 years to 2 years. We had originally anticipated the project taking approximately 4 years, which is why we had started with that, but with the understanding that that might be a contract that's a little longer than what we'd like. We'd look to do a 2-year agreement here and extend it if necessary.
Well, I'm a little concerned that you're already talking about extending it if necessary when you're doing 2 years. I mean, 4.5 years to me is really extreme, which is what you're asking for originally. And I hope you don't.
It's my understanding. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It was my understanding that that was the anticipated schedule for the project itself. With the amount of data that we anticipate utilizing our GIS system, and we're really in the early stages of getting all that on a similar platform so that we have better access to the data we have out there.
Okay, and I'll reiterate my statement at the beginning. When I initially saw this item and it was 4.5 years, I'm opposed to 4.5 year item on this extension with somebody that just is qualified for their pension. So as long as it's for, so it's 2 years till when? June of 24?
That would be my understanding. Sorry, I have staff on the line that will correct me if I am mistaken.
Well, could I get an affirmative answer what it is? Was somebody on the line or off the line or what?
Sherry, are you on the line?
This is Sherry McGee. Yes, I am. Can you hear me? So, Governor and board members, this is a multi-million-dollar, multi-year RFP that was just released. And, you know, the time frame we were estimating was what we had initially put in for support for this project. These large multi-million-dollar phase projects, you know, they take a long time to implement. But that was our guesstimate, and until we get the actual RFP proposals in, we were thinking it could probably be a shorter time frame. So we were just like estimating like on the outlying years. And so, I mean, it could come in at 2 years, but we know for sure it will probably be at least 2 years. So that's why we redid the time frame. We were like putting worst case scenario in the estimation. So we won't know for sure until the RFP comes back. And we need this person on site to be part of the RFP process as well. So.
Okay, then why don't I do this? Why don't I give you 6 months? And then when you have a project and you have it finalized, you can come back and ask for more. How's that?
Yeah, that would be great. And then we'd have exact timelines for you.
Okay. Then I will move on item
Thank you, Governor.
I'll move on item number 5E to have it expiring in July 1 of it would be January 1 of 2023. Okay, I'll make that a motion. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I'll second it.
Right. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item number 6. Request for recommendation for approval of the interim finance committee for an allocation amount from the contingency account.
Thank you. There are 3 items under this agenda for agenda item 6. For a positive recommendation to the interim finance committee pursuant to NRS 353.268 for an allocation from the interim finance committee contingency account. The current balance in the account is approximately $18.4 million. If all of these items were approved, the remaining balance would be $12.2 million. Would you like to take these together or separately?
Let's take them together.
Thank you. The first request is from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, the Division of Water Resources, for an allocation of $102,029 from the Interim Finance Committee contingency account to cover anticipated costs for the repairs of the South Fork Dam. The second request is from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, the Division of Forestry, for an allocation of $5,935,293 to cover emergency response expenses with the Forestry Fire Suppression account. The third request is from the Department of Indigent Defense Services for an allocation of $136,268 from the Interim Finance Committee contingency account to reimburse counties for the costs associated with case-related expenses for indigent defense services. Are there any questions?
Appreciate that. Do we have any questions on item number 6A, 6B, or 6C?
None here. Move approval.
We have a motion on the floor for approval from General Ford. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, request for approval of pay tort claim.
There is one request under this agenda item. This represents a $401,641.45 claim for which the Office of the Attorney General recommends payment from the tort claim account. This includes a settlement agreement of a $95,000 for 3 of the claimants. One is $91,152.18, and the last one is $25,489.27. Are there any questions on this request?
Do we have any questions on item number 7? Okay, do I have a motion?
None here. Move approval.
A motion for approval on item number 7. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, approval of proposed joinders.
Thank you. There are 2 joinder contracts under this agenda item. The first is for the Department of Education requesting to utilize the Nevada Association of School Administrators contract with Edu 2000 to provide a program for students in the form of pre-algebra and algebra. The second item is from the Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation to utilize a contract for the Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Welfare and Support Services contract with CSG Government Solutions to provide project management services. Are there any questions under this agenda item?
No questions. Do we have any questions on item number 8, the two joinders? Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
A motion from General Ford on approval on item number 8A and B. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9, approve of proposed leases.
There are 8 leases under this agenda item for the approval by the board. These leases are extensions of existing leases. Are there any questions?
Do we have any discussion or any questions on the leases? Do I have a motion on the leases on item number 9?
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval from General Ford. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 10, approval of proposed contracts.
Thank you. There are 84 contracts under this agenda item. Contracts 23, 36, 46, 54, and 72 are all contingent upon the approval of the June 21st, 2022 Interim Finance Committee. Are there any questions under these agenda items?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. On items number 10 through 15, 10 through 17. All these $4 million ones? Do we have somebody from the treasurer's office?
Yes, they're approaching the table in Carson City.
Good morning, Governor, members of the board. Tara Hagan with the Treasurer's Office.
Go ahead.
These are contracts for our unclaimed property division, and what they are they're audits. And so what these audits do, they're nationwide audits, and these various auditors go out. Some have different specialties, financial services, et cetera. But the main thing is they don't get paid unless money is returned to the Nevada Unclaimed Property Division and then dispersed out to Nevada residents.
Okay, my question is, since we've got so many of them on here, 7, 8 of them, did everybody who applied just get put on the list?
Thanks, Governor. Tara Hagan again for the record. Yes, I think the evaluation committee made the decision to hire or to enter into contracts with every vendor that submitted a proposal.
Okay, and what was the terms? Because there was in my briefing, and my counsel brought this up, and I don't know, Kevin, if you're on the phone, that it says that they were the highest scoring. Is that correct?
I believe so, that they would have been the highest scoring, but there also is my recollection, I was not on the committee, but my recollection is that the committee made the decision to hire every single auditor that submitted a proposal.
Okay, I guess the concern is that if we say that they're the highest scoring for 8 of them, and then they don't get any work, can they not have some recourse at the state that's saying, hey, look, you said I was the highest scoring and I didn't get any business?
Tara Hagan again for the record. That's a good question. I know in the past we've hired these auditors and they have not had work because simply they didn't return money back to the Unclaimed Property Division. So it is possible, but I'm happy to work with council if that's a concern.
Well, it's a concern, and I don't know who's going to opine that this is okay or not okay. I mean, I don't know, the wording of it is, if I'm a business and I get a contract from the state that says you're the best, and then I don't get any business, I might not be too happy, but I see Kevin there.
This is Kevin Benson, for the record, General Counsel, Governor's Office, and I would refer to the board's counsel, but my impression is that that's essentially a clerical error in the contract summary in the packet that says that they are each of the that each of them are the highest score, which obviously cannot be correct. And so, again, I defer to board counsel, but I would suggest that any motion to approve be made with the clarification that that is not the case and that that's simply a clerical error.
Rosalie Bordeleau, Board Counsel, for the record, any kind of qualification can be given upon a motion for these contracts. And so if the board would like to approve them with that clarification, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay.
Mr. Governor, if I could, I think now I'm a little confused because it could very well be that all 8 of them tied, and so they are in fact the highest scoring. But I'm not sure we know enough information to be able to accurately either qualify it or take it as is. Is time of the essence on these? Maybe the representative from the Treasurer's Office can ask, because if not, maybe we can get some clarification and bring it back.
Tara Hagan again for the record. We can certainly get clarification and bring them back to the meeting in July. Happy to do that.
Now, I don't want to muddy the waters, but it just, now I'm a little confused because, if we're going to clarify this in a way that does not reflect the reality of the way these were scored, then I'd be interested in ensuring that the clarification is accurate.
Okay, well then let's hold these. Tara, can we hold these until July?
Yes, Governor, that's fine. We'll work with staff on this.
Okay, I appreciate it. Then I've got 2 more, sorry. 65. And I know, Kevin, you sent me a memo, but I didn't get it till 2 minutes before the meeting, so I didn't get a chance to read it. Regarding the vocational services for youthful offenders. Who's handling that one?
Let me check to see if there's somebody from the Department of Corrections. I don't see them in the room.
I am here.
Could you please state your name?
Kim Peterson.
Okay.
Okay, the question I had is how many kids or inmates were we getting through the program? And I was told it was 2. And then I was explained that it's because they're moving around that we don't have many. So.
Governor, this is Kim Peterson, the Education Program Specialist with the Department of Corrections. We have around 33 youthful offenders enrolled in Lovelock. What happens is, because of PREA, as soon as they turn 18, we have to transfer them to general population, usually outside of that institution. So that's where you hear about the transferring. But on a daily basis, we're serving about 33 offenders.
Yeah, I guess what I'm interested in is, are we getting enough kids through this to renew this? A
lot of the funding also goes for their transition. So I would say once they turn 18.
Okay, I lost you there. I didn't hear anything, so.
Governor, it appears we lost connection with that, the person from the Department of Corrections.
Okay.
Is there anyone else on the line that can step in for the Department of Corrections?
Governor, this is Adrienne Monroe, Chief of Fiscal for Department of Corrections. I don't know if I can speak to the particulars of the programmatic content, but I'll do my best. I am familiar with the expansion of programs and our long history of the number of high school diplomas that Nevada Department of Corrections has been able to issue to inmates.
Okay. As long as somebody's watching this, I guess that's what I'm concerned about.
Yes, I have actually spoken with our program staff recently. I was hoping to get some stats for you in time for today's meeting, just in case you asked. But I can tell you that going back as far as 2017, we have, from 2017 through fiscal 21, we have actually doubled the number of high school diplomas that we have been able to issue to inmates. I think it started out around, maybe in 2017, it was about 160, and we're nearly double that now. And I know that they're actually expanding for this fiscal year. I just don't have that statistic for you, but it is very successful, and it plays into reducing recidivism significantly. And with this particular program, through Pershing and for Lovelock, it not only includes a concentration on math skills, but adds a vocational skills component to it as well.
Okay. I'm fine with that one then. Then I had one, and Kevin, if you can hear me, the memo you sent me here, and I got a number here wrong, on the inmate labor one. Remember the one that was the inmate labor for the composting facility, and do you know what number that was?
Governor, this is Adrienne Monroe with Department of Corrections again. That is item number 71 under the information contract summary, and that's for Nevada Organics.
Okay. So we're not at that one yet. Sorry, I'll get to that one then next time, I guess. Okay, okay, those were all of my questions. Do we have any further questions on the proposed contracts? Do I have a motion on the contracts with the exception of 10 through 17 that are being held till July?
I move approval of those contracts with the exception of 10 through 17, which are being held till July.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from General Ford. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes. Okay, moving on to item number 11. Approval of proposed master service agreements.
Thank you. There are 77 master service agreements under agenda item 11 for approval by the board. Are there any questions on these items?
Do we have any questions on the proposed master service agreements? Hearing and seeing none. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion?
Move approval of those.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Governor, this is Barbara
Yes.
Sagaski. Can I just, and I'm sorry because I didn't see a section for us to speak, so I just wanted to make sure that I thanked your staff again for talking to my staff again, for responding to us, giving us all the answers so we don't have to bring up everything here. And thank you for what you brought up. Those were some of the questions we had as well. But I just wanted to thank your staff. They do an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. They certainly do, and I appreciate it. They're great with answering questions. I apologize. Some of mine I didn't get till this morning, the answers, and that's why I've got follow-ups. But, okay, can we do the item number 12 now? Information contracts.
Thank you. Agenda item 12 has 109 contracts with contracts over 10,000 and under 100,000 threshold that were approved by the clerk of the board between April 20, 2022 and May 23rd, 2022. Are there any questions under this item?
Yeah, I've got two. Item number 71 is for the Nevada Organics. It's the compost facility up there at the prison, correct? Okay, I've toured that, I think, twice now, and it's a great facility, and they do some great training there. The question I've got is that I guess they pay $1 an hour to $4 an hour for labor.
For the record, Bill Quenga, Deputy Director, Industrial Programs for NDOC. Governor, this is an extension from the contract that expired in February. Bring this out to August. We are in negotiations at this point to increase that salary. And I'm working with Nevada Organics to propose a new contract coming out for another 2 to 4 year term.
Okay, and Bill, I appreciate that because I was there. I don't know if the Attorney General or the Secretary of State were ever at the organics plant. You talk about hard work, let me tell you something. I mean, they're shoveling stuff, and bagging it, and there's an odor associated with it sometimes, and these guys really, really work hard. And I find it a little disingenuous if we're paying them $1 an hour, and the company is reaping the benefit of getting his work done at such a low price, and then the folks doing the work aren't really even compensated. So I don't know where my colleagues are on this. I'm okay with an extension, but I would certainly want this addressed in a new contract.
For the record, Bill Quenga, Deputy Director, DOC. Governor, we're working with them. And in this program, we get a lot of the offenders that go to the camp coming in from the medium facility, and we select these offenders. They start from 1 to 4, depending on the occupation or job that they do, within about 6 months, going on to 9 months. And then we watch their work ethic. Then they progress to our Erickson Trust, which pays minimum wage, which is a facility out in Washoe County. And we progress them up there to make minimum wage working. We have approximately 14 offenders working at the trust company, and the majority of them are coming out from the compost facility.
Don't get me wrong, I think it's great that they can come out and get a full-time job at the compost facility and get minimum wage, but when they're under our jurisdiction or our care, it just seems like, to me, I don't want to be taken advantage to this extent that we're paying $1 an hour for guys that are, I'm telling you, it is, I didn't pick up a shovel, but it sure the hell looks like hard work that these guys are doing out there, shoveling these massive piles and, and bagging this stuff for the compost company. And when this contract is addressed, I would hope that we would certainly look at that.
Governor Bill Quenga, Deputy Director again. I'm in negotiations at this time. We'll also have Mr. Buck, who is the owner of the company, present at the next meeting if we move forward from there.
Because they lease the land from us as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know if anybody else has any questions on that one. The other one I've got is 85. If I'm not mistaken, item number 85 was a gentleman that came to the last meeting that had a problem. He had some kayaks and surfboards or something at Lake Tahoe, and he didn't get awarded the contract, and he was going to lose his business and employees and whatnot. And now it came back and we gave him the contract. Am I kind of summarizing that correctly?
Governor, this is Melanie in Carson. Are you talking about 85 or 86 on the agenda item? 85 is for Nevada Adventures LLC, and 86 is the Outdoor Immersions Incorporated.
Did one of them appear at the last meeting complaining they didn't get the contract?
Yes.
Which one was that?
I'm going to double check the minutes for the individual's name. Hold on.
Okay, and this is, I'm just asking the question and pointing it out, and I don't know if General Ford, and we've got a lot of lawyers here that are more educated on this than me. It seems like, if recollection serves me, we had an RFP for this. The gentleman did not get it. We awarded it to somebody else. He got up and talked that he had boats and paddles and all that kind of stuff that he wanted to lease out, and we didn't give it to him. We gave it to somebody else, and now he spoke up and objected, and now we gave it to him, and we gave it to another person.
Governor, this is Melanie. In the minutes, the individual that came forward was Andrew Laughlin for Outdoor Immersion Incorporated. Okay. And I'm not sure if somebody from State Parks is on the line to answer the governor's questions.
Hello, this is Jennifer Idemo with Nevada State Parks. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on the contract.
Okay, did you understand my question?
Yes, Governor and members of the board, they are actually for two different services. The contract that he was giving official comment on at the last meeting was an RFP that was done for equipment rentals out of Sand Harbor. And this particular contract is for guided tours, and it includes kayaks and different equipment other than just the boat rentals.
Okay, so it's an expansion of the other contract? I mean, how do you, this has got to be more than just tours.
Again, this is Jennifer Idemo with State Parks. The special use permit is for kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, snowshoes, mountain bikes, and hiking tours in an organized and controlled fashion. And the other contract that was awarded to Clearly Tahoe is just for equipment rental.
Okay, is there equipment rental allowed under this one?
No, there is not.
Okay, I guess I'm good. General Ford, do we have legal, do we have any?
As I understand the question, Mr. Governor, the concern is whether the gentleman who voiced opposition last go around to not being able to participate in RFP is now being awarded a comparable contract. And I think the answer to that is no. We have two separate contracts, one that was issued by an RFP and however this one was issued as well. Two separate contracts. I don't see an issue with him being able to get one and not the other. And you know, if that's your sole concern, I don't share it, and I think that we're okay moving forward with approving it.
Okay, I'm good then. Thank you much. Then I'll move on from item number 12 on to item number 13. Information reports, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Division of State Lands, fiscal year 2022.
Thank you. There are three information reports under agenda item 13 today. The first one is from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, State Lands, and it's regarding lands or interest in lands transferred, sold, exchanged, or leased under the Tahoe Basin Act program, as well as the quarterly report on the status of real property or interest in real property transferred on under the Lake Tahoe Mitigation Program. This report is for the quarter ending of March 31st, 2022. There was one acquisition of 10.6 acres of undeveloped land and two acquisitions of real property totaling 5,224 square feet this quarter. The total acquisition costs are $1,158,421. And are there any questions on this report?
No questions. Any questions? Okay.
Moving on to the second.
None here.
Moving on to the second report, this is a report of overtime and accrued compensatory time for the third quarter of fiscal year 2022. This has been summarized highly, so I won't go into too many details, but I'll go over some of the highlights. Overtime and accrued comp time leave account for the total of approximately $20.9 million for the third quarter of 2022, which relates to 7.95% of base pay. By comparison, total overtime was approximately $16 million in the same period in fiscal year 2021. The total overtime for the first three quarters of this fiscal year is $60,075,000, or $60.75 million, compared to $51 million for the same period in fiscal year 2021. The overtime for the third quarter report is an 18.9% increase over the same period in fiscal year 2021. The Department of Corrections has the highest amount of overtime and accrued comp time of $7.82 million, or 20.64% of the base pay, followed by the Department of Health and Human Services at $6.95 million, or 8.91% of the base pay. Next is the Department of Public Safety with $1.94 million, and it's 9.66% of base pay. The final report under this agenda item is the balance of the various contingency accounts as of April 30th, 2022. Are there any questions on the overtime or the balance of the contingency accounts?
Do we have any questions on either of those accounts or the overtime? Okay, that's information. It's an information item. We don't need a motion, right?
Right.
That was an information item. I'll close item number 13. Move on to item number 14. Public comment. This is the second time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on any item under our jurisdiction, please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. We have no one in Las Vegas. Do we have anyone in Carson City?
There was no one coming forward in Carson City.
Do we have any written or telephonic public comment?
We do not.
Do we have any down here? I guess we have none down here either. That being said, we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. And Secretary, good luck today.
You.
Thank you. Good luck
luck,
to
thanks.
everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.